Welcome back to another episode of Finchy Fridays. In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about exactly what I say when I have a pre-meet with my wedding couples. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. I try to release a video every Friday talking about anything related to wedding videography, video production, gear reviews, and a bit like today, sort of what I talk to my clients about, how I get clients, just basically anything related to a wedding videography business. So back to today. In 2 weeks' time, I have my first wedding of the year and cannot wait. So about 3 weekends ago, I met with my couple just to discuss their wedding day and have like my final pre-meet with them before their big day. And I'm just going to discuss with you what I literally go through with them. I've got my trusty folder. I have this folder with me at every single meeting. So I will be sort of glancing down and sort of saying what I go through. But I'm hoping this video will help you. And if it does, please hit the like and subscribe button. So with every single client, I try and have at least a face-to-face meeting with them approximately 2 to 6 weeks before their big day. I'll either meet them at my house if they're local, their house if it's sort of within 45 minutes, or sort of like a location between the two of our houses. And if we can't meet in person, I will do a video chat with them. So every single time I write in this handy little folder, which I'm coming to the end actually, so I need to get a new one. But basically, I start them off exactly the same. So before the meeting, I'll just write the client's name at the top, because when you're dealing with 25 to 30 clients a year, you can quite easily forget the name. So it's always handy writing that at the top of the page. And the next thing I do is I write the ceremony date, time, and location. And I also make a little note on what package they had and if any remaining balance is due. So in this instance, they came to my house. I only live about 10 minutes away. So I literally cleared the wife and kids out. I was going to have them in another room, but my wife decided to leave and go out for a few hours, which was a lot easier for me. But I have had my kids at meetings before, and usually they're in the other room playing. Otherwise, they might come in, but generally the clients don't mind. So I always confirm their date, time, and place of ceremony. And then if the ceremony is in a different location to the reception, I'll just clarify the reception as well. Then, even though I've written at the top about what package they are and if they've got a remaining balance, I don't bring that up now. It's just when I'm making my notes originally, I write it at the top just so I don't forget. And then literally, I start from the very beginning. So I write a note, bride prep. So I'll ask them, what time is, also where is bride prep, first of all. So when I say bride prep, that's hair and makeup and where they're getting ready. So bride prep is the location. And then I always ask what time the hair and makeup are getting there. In this case, it's 6 a.m., very early, for a 12 p.m. ceremony. And they have 4 bridesmaids, mother of the bride, and sister-in-law, sister of the groom, all having hair and makeup done. But because it's a 12 p.m. ceremony, what have I done here? 12, 11, 10, 9. Yeah, I'm aiming for 3 hours before. Usually I like about 2 hours, at least 2 hours before. But when they said 6 a.m., I definitely won't be there at 6 a.m. So anyway, so I clarify bride prep, hair and makeup arrival. I ask about groom prep. In this instance, their groom's getting ready at the same location, which is fantastic. All happening in this same castle. They're both there the night before. So it should be a really good, easy wedding. Well, I'd say easy, but there's less traveling, so just drive to the one location in the morning. So then I confirm, this is where I confirm my arrival time. So in this instance, right, 9 a.m. And then, for some strange reason, I don't quite write everything in the exact order. So now I always ask the photographer, and I only bring this. I usually put this bit in there. It's because I like to know what time they're arriving as well. So there is method to my madness. But you could ask about the photographer at a previous meeting, or like email, or before you're running through the schedule of the day. Because this is what the meeting's about, really. It's just the schedule of the day and confirming timings of everything. But one key thing I do ask here is about the couple's photo shoot. I haven't had it before, but I have heard stories of photographers not wanting the videographer tagging along because they're posing them in their way. But anyway, I bring this up and I just say, are you doing a photo shoot? And if so, I'll tag along. Again, I tell them exactly how I work it on the day. I do let the photographer lead, but if not, if I feel like I need some bit more movement or some other shots, I may get involved as well. And basically, I told them that I like movement, so it's either them moving or myself moving, and they loved it. Basically, they were just agreeing. And I briefly mentioned about what time this will happen, and they said it's somewhere between, after the ceremony and before food. Each wedding can be completely different, so I always ask what time they sit down for food, time of speeches and number of speeches. In their case, they're coming in for food at about 2:00, cutting the cake straight away, and then going into speeches, which I love. And they've got 4 speeches, so I always clarify that. And then that leads me on to sort of the rest of the evening, where I do ask cutting the cake, but obviously I already knew they were doing that straight away. First dance, approximate times, these can change on the day. I asked about evening guests, so they're arriving about 7. So that's about an hour before the first dance, which they've only got 10 extra evening guests arriving. So that's kind of like my quick schedule of the day, and that's it, because things can change. But they're the sort of the things that usually have a set time. Then I literally just sort of backtrack a little bit and talk about the morning. So some brides like to have a first look with their dad. So they get their dress on, they invite the dad in to see his daughter. So they're up for that. I also make a note for my time to leave the ceremony. In this case, doesn't matter, I'm there already. But if you've got half an hour drive to get somewhere, to the church, or if they're just getting ready at a house or something, and you get into the other venue, I just clarify what time I'm going to leave to get to the ceremony. And one really important factor is are there any readings in the ceremony? In this case, it's a no. And then I talk about delivery, so how long it's going to take, if there's any upgrade options, which they do have because they've booked my silver package, and venue coordinator's name sometimes, they gave me that. So that's basically my main things that I'm trying to get out of them, is the schedule of the day and actually finally meeting them, because a lot of my bookings are done email, Facebook, Instagram, and I don't actually get to see them. But whilst I'm talking about these different things, say when I ask about what time is the ceremony, I then sometimes talk about my camera setup, or previous meetings when I say I'd leave the ceremony at this time, because I explain I've got to park up, set up some cameras, audio, all takes a bit of time, and that might have consequences on if they want to do a first look with their dad, because I might need to leave at a certain time, because father of the brides are sometimes you can never find them. They don't realise that they're needed at a certain time. So basically, this meeting is also about managing expectations, and just going back to the speeches. So we've got the father of the bride doing one, groom, best man, maid of honour. They also said they might open up to the room. So in this case, I said how I do things. So I put a lapel mic on every single person doing that I know is doing a speech. Try and hook into the sound system if I can. Potentially put a mic around the, if they've got a microphone. But I just said, if you do open it up to the room, that audio of that person doing a speech might not be as good as the rest of it. And they just agreed, and they were happy with that because, they're opening up to the room. But funny enough, last week, the mother of the bride actually rang me up and said her brother's doing a surprise speech in this wedding. So they've actually got 5 people, but the couple only know about 4. And that is it. That's what I said. I'd literally just run through the main timings of the day, get to meet them, they meet me, just to let them know how I sort of work on the day, let them know about the drone shots as well that I do. So in this case, again, it's all there in the morning. I just said I'll pop out. You basically, during bride prep, you'll see me come in and out, go see the groom. And I also talk about the ending, which is how long I stay after the first dance. So I usually stay for 4 or 5 songs. If the dance floor is busy, I might stay a little bit longer, do the first set of the band if they've got one, find out if they've got a DJ or a band, and tell them the situation if the dance floor goes dead as well. I usually hang around for another 20, 30 minutes, but if literally no one's dancing, that's when I call it a day as well. So I said to them, I'll probably start at 9 AM, finish at 9 PM, so a nice 12-hour day. And honestly, I can't wait to film my first wedding of the year. So I hope this video helped you or someone out there. If it did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.